What's up, everybody? David Glasco here, CEO of Vanguard Sports, and I have the pleasure of being joined with one of Vanguard's first signees, Mr. Kaleem Howard. What's going on, man?
Yes, sir. It's been a good day so far. I woke up, was able to work a little bit, go to class. It was a light day, so can't complain about it.
Speak about that. Let's just get straight into it. Like, speak about class. Like, what is a day in life? You're a student athlete. You play football. You're a receiver for Trinity University, and you run track. Congratulations, by the way. I saw you won your 400-meter hurdles last week. What is the average day like for you?
The average day, I'll give you like a good Tuesday, Thursday mix. Well, actually, this is just one day. So for on Tuesdays, I'll wake up at 5:35 a.m., be at the field for football practice by 6 a.m. We'll usually head inside around 6:45 to go lift, and then we'll get out of lift around 7, like lift and stretch around 7:45-ish, around then, and then I'll go eat breakfast. I try to eat breakfast in that 15-minute span before 8 o'clock, but usually I'm back in my dorm, showered up, and in bed to take a nap before my 9:55, around 8:05. So get an hour nap in before the first class of the day, and then after that, it's just a rolling schedule for 3 classes from 9:55 to 2 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock or 2 p.m., I have work from 2 to 4. And now that I'm running track at Trinity, I actually have like a 30-minute window to go in the training room before track practice at 4:30, and usually get done around 6:30, 6:15-ish. And then I'll go over and eat like a little light dinner, well, not light dinner, eat a pretty heavy dinner, and then go back to my room around 7-ish, 7:15. And sometimes, depending on like the next day, like Wednesdays, I don't have to get up early or anything like that, so I might take a nap and then wake up from that nap and do homework or something like that, depending on how tired I am. But usually it's homework, and then I'm probably asleep by 9:30, before 9:30, just to get my 8 hours in.
So that's very responsible of you. I wish I was that responsible when I was in college. But when do you, like the fun time, the me time, the Kaleem time, like when does that come in? Or is your whole mentality like, look, we need to just go ahead and prioritize. I need to get my sleep. I need to get my rest, rejuvenate my body. How do you balance like that work fun aspect ratio of your life?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is like, if you're not there, I mean, not everything's supposed to be fun. There's always got to be work times and stuff like that. And I think of that as in practice. But outside of it, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to have the experience of, going to college, being a dual sport athlete, getting a good education at Trinity University, and just be able to do certain things that, most people aren't able to do. So, I mean, I just wake up every day and feel blessed to be able to, be able to work and do things. Sometimes it might get a little hard, but I just enjoy the process at this point. So,
where does that come from? Because every time I know this, but I don't think everybody watching this knows this. Like, I know you're in my opinion, very impressive young man. You take care of business. You literally just explained how hectic your schedule can be. Has you always been like that? Is that something that your parents taught you? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, I would definitely say it comes from my parents. My mom and my dad have basically instilled that in me since a little kid, and also from my uncle, Nick Lewis. He's pretty adamant about that as well, having a good work ethic and just staying positive about certain things. So it's been pretty instilled in me since a young age, I'd say.
And you mentioned your uncle a little bit. Can you expound a little bit and tell us what exactly your uncle was renowned for?
Yeah, he, correct me if I'm wrong, he played for 12 years. Nope, he played for 14 years, 12 with the Stampeders, the Calgary Stampeders, and then 2 with the Montreal Alouettes in the CFL. And then after that career, he was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame, the CFL Hall of Fame, for all-time receiving or all-time receptions. He was also inducted into the Mule Riders Hall of Fame at Southern Arkansas. And after his incredible career, he actually went back and coached in the CFL as well. And then I believe he just retired this past year from coaching. So,
absolutely. So you come from royalty pretty much. Nick is pretty a big deal in Canada, you could say. What is Nick from Jacksboro as well?
Yes, sir.
He is? Okay. Yeah. And you're from Jacksboro. So can you explain what is it like growing up from there and coming to a city like San Antonio and playing here? What's the difference? Or how did Jacksboro influence you to be the type of person you are today?
I grew up in a really small town. There's a lot of like hard workers in my town and a lot of good men that I was around as well that I kind of grew up with, like within my friend group and their parents and stuff like that. So I definitely credit them, and the whole community is very uplifting as well. I get a lot of my traits from kind of that rough, rugged, hardworking person come from a small town, but just coming to this translating into the city it's been pretty good. I like the attraction that comes with the city, the more people around. Not discrediting the country at all, but I definitely like to be around a little bit more people and have a little bit more stuff to do. So
yeah, no, for sure. Is there any lessons? So now you're currently playing football at Trinity University. You're a receiver in track as well. What events all do you do in track besides the hurdles?
I run the 400-meter hurdles, long jump, and I will be competing in the 110 hurdles at our next meet.
Okay. So out of all these sports, and I believe you played baseball as well previously too, right?
Yes.
Out of all these sports, what has been the most valuable lesson? I always tell people who weren't athletes that, like, I've learned a lot of lessons, more lessons in the classroom until I got to law school. In the classroom, I have learned more lessons on the field than I did in any classroom. No disrespect to the classroom. But what valuable lessons has sports taught you as being an athlete?
For sure. I mean, the biggest thing is like that next play mentality in football. That translates a lot in my life. I wouldn't consider myself to be a negative person. I always consider what's next. Even if something bad happens, or not necessarily bad, but an inconvenience, I'm not always thinking about what just happened. I think of ways to solve that problem or what's next after this action that's occurred. So I believe that one step or that next play mentality is definitely like the biggest one.
Okay, no, that's a great lesson always. But we've been talking a lot about Kaleem, the student athlete, and all that. Can you give us a little insight? I know it sounds like you're just all about business, but what does Kaleem do for fun?
I would say I like to play video games, but I actually left my monitor at home, so I've been locked in. I've been locked in.
Too mature. That's good. That's good. Though.
But no, I like to play video games. I like to hang out with friends and go out and do. I like to do. How do I say it? I'm more of an experience over material things type of person. So I like to go and have good experiences, fun experiences, experience things that not a lot of people have experienced before, and that's kind of what I base a lot of my things off of, like fun. Okay.
And is there any experience that stands out that you've done so far more than any other one?
I'd probably say my travel experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take you as somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, that would prefer to see a beautiful view over a busy city. Am I right there or am I wrong? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any place that you traveled to that you like the most? Favorite place you traveled to so far?
My favorite place that I've traveled to so far is Costa Rica.
Okay. Super dope. Super dope. What about let's talk about, I guess, fashion in a sense. Is that something that's important to you?
Yes, definitely. I like to look good at all times, put on a good picture, so.
Okay. And what is, do you have a favorite brand you like to wear or anything like that?
Not necessarily. I think, my mom told me growing up, whatever I throw on, I'd look good in, so.
Got that confidence, huh?
Yeah.
What, is there what type of, I guess do you do the clothes to match the mood, or is it just however you're feeling at the moment? Like, are you more so like, I'm going to wear this, setting the trends, or are you like, you know what, I saw this, not saying you're a follower, but I saw this and I like that, I want to try to pull that off with my own style. Like, what's your clothing approach?
Yeah, if I see the thing, maybe I wouldn't say a whole set, but definitely like a piece of clothing or something like that. I like to incorporate it in my style, I guess you could say. But I do like to dress for the occasions. Some might say I might overdress for certain occasions.
There's
But
no such thing. That's a myth.
yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, I definitely dress for the occasions. There's different themes for what I decide to wear, but on every day, like it's just whatever I'm feeling for the most part.
If a child, a youth, was to come up to you and ask you for some advice on being a multi-sport athlete, because you're in rare territory. Not a lot of people are blessed enough to play multiple sports in college. Shoot, not even in high school. What advice would you give somebody in that position?
I'd probably go back to the next play mentality. That's a big thing that can be translated into every facet of life, I believe, depending on which way you take it. So that'd be the first thing, or that I would, a little piece of knowledge that I'd give them.
Okay. What is a game day? What does that look like for you? How do you prepare for that mentally? Like, walk us down like maybe 2 hours before kickoff. Like, how does that look?
Okay. I'm not like a big rah-rah type of guy, as, you can ask any of my teammates for the most part. If it gets to that point, then, it's probably we're taking care of business or something like that. And, but within 2 hours, I'd probably say, obviously eating, or at least not eating meals or something like that, but just like snacking, make sure my body's fueled, get the right nutrients in my body to be able to last, no cramps, throughout the game. Music-wise, it's real calm before. Like, I like to call it the calm before the storm, because it's actually kind of been proven, like, to get way too high before a game, that kind of dies out and decreases your longevity of, performance and stuff like that throughout the game. And I just kind of like to keep that all, not necessarily bottled up, but just keep it constant. Like, I don't like to be too high, too low, up or down, stuff like that. I like to keep it constant throughout the game. And that could even go back to the next play mentality, just keeping that same composure throughout the game. So,
Who's some artists you listen to before the game?
some artists that I listened to before the game were probably Lil Wayne. I'm not gonna lie, Lil Wayne just gets me on the bottom.
Wayne, that's your dude?
That's my guy.
That's never a bad choice. You got a favorite Wayne song?
Hustler Music.
That's a great choice. Okay. What would you say has been the best advice given to you throughout this journey, throughout your life so far? Not just sports, but period.
The best advice that I've probably heard, it's kind of been continuous, like throughout my whole life, is just keep going. I know it's simple, it might be cliche, but that's kind of been a big thing in my life, at least. Is just to keep going. So
I'm noticing like there's a trend. You're very you're positive, but would you consider yourself like optimistic? Would you categorize yourself as that?
Yes and no. Not to such a point to where you're so optimistic that you oversee the truth or something like that. But definitely optimistic in a way that in the means of my control, I would say.
You seem, and I ask that because you seem very, I want to make sure I word this correctly. You seem very laxed when it comes to mistakes. Like, is there a understanding? Because I know I could be like this to an extent, so I'm just trying to get it. Is there like an understanding to you or some sort of maturity to where it's like, look, I'm human, mistakes are going to happen, it's over, I can't rewind time. The best thing I could do is try to figure out what the solution is. Like, what is your mind process when you make a mistake?
Yeah, I feel like yes, in a way, but also I'm not letting that, crutch any of the mistakes that I may make or anything like that. Like, I still own my mistakes and stuff like that, and it's not always like about, sometimes some mistakes that you make, you don't have to, you're not trying to just get past it real quick, because that can lead to more mistakes or anything like that. So sometimes you have to sit and reflect on the mistakes that you do make, but my biggest thing is you can't dwell on those mistakes. So yeah.
Is there a certain time you like allow yourself to be deep in your thoughts about it, and then you're like, I gotta move on after this, or is it just a case by case basis?
I'd say it's a case by case basis. Some mistakes that I've made have stuck with me a little bit longer, even though I'm working through them. It's not just a spur of the moment type thing to where this happens and you're on to the next all the time. Some people can do that, and that can happen with certain mistakes. But I feel like certain things to a certain person might take a little bit more time for sure.
Right. Agreed. I know we talked about you love to travel, you love fashion, you take pride in your discipline, all this stuff. If any brand wanted to collaborate with you, what type of brand would it be, and why them?
That's a good question. I'd probably say, actually,
Or let's not. It doesn't have to be
has to be-
one. So
yeah.
you can give multiple.
I'd probably say Nike first, just because I like a lot of the materials and stuff like that. I like their. I actually did a whole study over the Nike brand for a class, or for my management class, and just kind of get the ins and outs of the brand itself a little bit. And a lot of that stuff was pretty appealing to me for the most part, and I kind of like Patagonia as well, outdoor brands. I like to go snowboarding and skiing all mountain.
You
stuff.
snowboard?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I did not know
Snowboards.
that.
I don't ski. I did ski. No hate on skiing, but I do believe snowboarding's better. And I just like a lot of outdoorsy stuff. And Nike does a lot of that. Their running shoes are good. I use their Superflies right now and love them. Another one would be probably Adidas. I like the three-stripe mentality. And I do use their football cleats a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Got you. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know you snowboard. That's dope. I know we talked about it off camera, and before you signed the Vanguard, like one of the things that our job is to prepare you for life after sports and your career. Where do you see yourself going? What path do you feel like your calling or your passion is once you have to stop playing sports?
Yeah, of course I know, sports end at some point. Your body can only take so much. And after sports, I still want to be connected to the sports world, or at least in the sports world somewhat. Right now I'm studying business marketing, and I'm going to minor in finance. So I kind of want to get on like the upper levels of the sports industry, certain teams, anything like that. That's where I see myself in the future for sure.
Okay. Is there anything specific that motivates that, or is that just your love for sports that's just carrying on in another aspect?
Yeah, that's definitely my love for sports carrying on.
Okay. Kind of random question, really not really, but do you think, one day I ironically might be the old guy at the barbershop talking like these young kids ain't got it the same we had and all that. You might get there too. You might not see it now because you're still young. But do you think there's even a difference, or are there more parallels than people like to admit when it comes to the older generation of athletes and the newer one?
Just from what I've experienced, I feel like the older generation is a lot more like hard-nosed. Mm-hmm. The younger generation, there's some people that can definitely be like that, but I think it's a little bit more lax. And I feel like the older generation, even though it's a little bit more lax and different, they might take it as like weaker or something like that, not as hard-nosed as they once were, just because that's all they knew. But I think now that, there's other people in the world now that sports aren't their only life, that's not their only thing, and, they believe that there's other things outside of sports or certain sports. I believe it is a little bit different.
Yeah, I think you touched on it a little bit. I think it's multiple venues and ventures that are open and options for athletes now. So I could see an athlete nowadays taking advantage of all their options as they should. Yeah. But I think if it starts affecting their play, that's when, the older generation starts getting to kind of shaking the cane a little bit.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think I would agree with you. How would your teammates describe you, or you personality-wise and your play style?
I would. I feel like they would describe me as like a laid back, not too lackadaisical. Because when it's time to go, when it's time to work, I'm there to work, and not a lot of things, get to me or bother me or anything like that. But I'd say if sticking up for my teammates, that's definitely a part of my game as well. So if it gets to that point, they know. I mean, they would describe me as one of those people that's gonna be there right with them, and in the fight with them, not just laid back off on the sideline watching.
Right.
So I feel like that's how they would describe me. And there's a second part to your question.
Your play style. I know you answered like your personality-wise from your teammates, but how would you describe your play style?
I would describe my play style as fast, efficient, and I feel like most of it's technical as well. Not to the point to where I'm thinking too technical about doing certain things, but I feel like I've gotten to fell in love with the process enough to be able to handle those things in game as well.
If you could compare your play style to any receiver, current or former, who would it be? You can't say Nick Lewis. We know the legend Nick Lewis. You got to say somebody else.
That was my default. I was going there. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I probably don't watch intently enough to be able to really tell you.
I mean, you could be unique. You never know. You could just be your own person. You might just play like nobody else. You never know. I want to go back a little bit on something you just said. I'll give you an example. When I was in school, when I was at UTSA, you couldn't pay me to watch a football game because I'm tired, I'm working, got class, got practice, got all this stuff. And when I get home, it was like David time. Like I'm playing the PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, watching a movie. Is there some of that with you, or how do you feel once you get home? I know you broke down majority of your schedule, but if you have time, are you still trying to actively watch football, or are you more so like, I'm going to use this time for myself?
I actually saw a guy in an interview talking about this, saying that he doesn't watch any football at all just because he analyzes it too much.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't say that I do the same, but I don't watch as much sports as I probably could or should, just because, I'm enveloped in my sport, in my daily life, kind of like you said, and just being able to do things, on my own time, or that's kind of away from sports a little bit. Not saying that's a crutch or burden or anything like that, but it definitely is, I would say probably not like a priority.
Right.
I mean, obviously, unless we're talking about film and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, just like, professional sports, or if it gets around that time where it's like a World Series, Super Bowl, then I'm obviously going to pay attention and watch.
But the important thing is, and it sounds like you're doing it, I feel like you do have to make time for yourself too. Give yourself time to relax every now and then, because your life as a student athlete, I've been there before, and I'm sure yours is way more hectic than mine because you're track and football. So it's like you're really nonstop. So video games, you played them, I'm guessing.
Yes.
All right, you are human after all. All right, so if you were in Madden, or shoot, who knows, one of these college football games, now I forgot that's back, what are you giving yourself as a rating?
Right now?
Be honest too. Don't 99 yourself like we used to do when we were little kids.
I'm not going 99. Let's go college football. I'll go 78. I can't get the number out of my head. I tried to think about anything else. I couldn't get the number out of my head though.
Okay, that's honest. Why a 78? Why not an 80? Why not give you that extra 2 points?
Why 78? Shoot, I'm the underdog.
Okay, I like that. You're going to be that sneaky player that has the bad rating, but it's like, nah, this dude's really a 90 when you use him the right way.
You're going to see.
I get it. Where are you putting your speed at?
My speed?
Yeah. Let's see you try to get humble on this one. Yeah, what are you putting your speed at?
I say let's go 80.
Okay. I'll take it. 80 speed, 78 overall. Yeah. Okay. I ain't mad at it. Describe, I guess, get in more detail. We kind of touched on it, but get in more detail about your fashion sense. Like, what is Kaleem wearing? Like, and how does Kaleem feel when Kaleem puts it on? Like,
Okay, hold on. Before I answer this, I don't get dressed by my mom anymore currently at all.
I would hope
I
not.
don't. I haven't, you know what I'm saying? This is like a younger type thing. But when it was happening, she would like pick things out and I wouldn't like it. Like I really wouldn't. She said it would look good. Sometimes I wouldn't like it. Or I'll be like, hey mom, can you help me pick out this outfit? And then I get it. I'm like, I don't know. Or I'll like mix and match and use pieces of, what she thought of just to get, a good creative flow going, just to be able to mix and match different things. But I think my fashion style is really unique to me, just depending on like if I want to throw this together. If I look in the mirror and it doesn't look right to me. Mm-hmm. Also, shades is a big thing for me as well. Like, if I have two different shades of black on, it just doesn't look right.
That's
to
not
me.
just swag.
Like, I can't. It doesn't.
You got a favorite color? Like, is there a favorite color for you to wear?
My favorite color is probably black and white.
Okay.
Like, that's real basic, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not like full black and white pieces. It's black and white, like.
Accents?
Yeah. Or like not full black and white sets, I would say.
Okay.
There's like different pieces or that complement each other.
Okay. I was thinking about this too. Are you into sneakers or are you like what's your shoe?
I wouldn't say I'm a big like sneakerhead. I don't have a whole lot of sneakers, but I've got a good variety of like, different kinds of shoes.
Got you. Is there you got a favorite pair of shoes or anything? Ever?
No.
Nothing? Okay. No. Would you say you're pretty diverse in that area? Could it be like Jordans one day to some Off-Whites to some Louboutins? Like I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it goes with my outfit, I'd wear it.
I'm gonna tell you what I think a flex is in fashion. You tell me yours. I think a flex is if I can go into Walmart or Target and I find something that's nice and I pull it off, I feel better than the person with the expensive stuff on. That's just me. What is your version of a flex like that when it comes to fashion?
No, for sure. If I can go put this on and you got that on and we go on a rating and I get rated higher than you, it don't matter what I have on. As long as if I look better than you and whatever it is, that's my style of fashion.
What's like the one thing that you put on and it like exudes confidence to you? Is it the shirt? Is it your jeans? Is it like the accessory, the chains, the bracelet? Like what?
Mine is definitely a watch.
Watch, okay.
Yeah.
You got a favorite brand of watches?
The Movado.
Okay. And is there any history on that, or that's just something you've always felt?
With the watches, my mom's dad, my grandpa, actually gets me watches a lot, or he has a lot over the course of my life growing up in Jacksboro. He'll send them in. I've got, I wouldn't say tons, but quite a few watches that are from him. And all of the watches that I've really gotten are from him. Like I won't go out and purchase one, but a lot of them come from him.
Yeah, no, super dope. Well, Kaleem, I appreciate you, my man.
Yes, sir.
David Glasco, Kaleem Howard, Vanguard Sports.